Welcome to the Navigating Your Life show. Our focus tonight is going to be on relationships. And we're going to look at different kinds of relationships and how important they are. We've titled the show, Relationships Matter. We recently had a conversation with a professional from Around the Clock Nursing where she shared her point of view on relationships. So here's what she had to say.
Around the Clock Nursing is a nursing agency that provides skilled nursing and unlicensed nursing in clients' homes and private duty within facilities. We try to encourage everyone to have a family-like atmosphere where we do care about our nurses, we do care about our clients and what they need and the changes that they face, and we try to help all of them so that it is a good situation to be able to work with. In our office, we have multiple service care coordinators who take information from clients and also do applications with nurses. They try to match up the nurses with the clients and their needs. We have found that a number of our employees do form very strong bonds, both with the family and the client. Those bonds can't be broken. Upon admissions to hospitals, a lot of our clients do have our employees actually there private duty until they return home. They become extensions of the families. For our patients that are quadriplegics and paraplegics, we become extensions of their body, things they cannot do, light housekeeping, the like. We actually do for them, and so we are part of the family. We do become a very large portion of the extended family. We celebrate birthdays, holidays, and have events both at their homes and here at our office for them. It's very important to be able to get the proper nurse or nurse's aide for the client. Some of our nurses stay in a client's home in excess of 40 hours a week. So if you don't have that right kind of nurse, it really doesn't promote healing and growth of the children that we provide care to. We try to keep all of our clients in the home. We have children on ventilators, feeding support, IVs, anything that is necessary we can provide in the home, as that which is found within the hospital except excessive monitoring. The benefits that I've noticed are when you are able to see a client who has gotten better, or the children who grow. Some of the children that we've cared for have not a long life expectancy. So when they reach graduation age, it's a big deal. And we have presents and gifts and things like that we do for our clients to celebrate the milestones that they normally wouldn't have reached. I've been caring for some clients for over 20 years, and it's a great experience to be able to help the family through the changes in their lives. Unfortunately, some of our children just aren't able to make it, but we do have situations where the families still come in for our holiday parties. We still send them invitations and Christmas cards to let them know we're still here, we're still thinking about them, and we still care. We try to keep our clients in the home. A lot of times at a facility, they try to keep them within the facility. What we try to do is allow you to bring your family members home, whether it's children or elderly. Sometimes the clients just want to be there in order to pass away. We have a lot of elderly people who choose to come home, and we provide the care necessary to do that, whether it's 2 hours a day to help with a bath or 24 hours a day so that the client has continual supervision.
We want to thank the professionals at Around the Clock Nursing for spending some time with us and telling their story. We're now going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have a conversation with a licensed marriage and family therapist. So please stay with us.
Do you want to achieve your personal best? Then join Dr. Nat Williams for the Absolutes of Success series Attaining Your Personal Best workshop in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, on Saturday, November 13th. Workshop highlights include a better understanding of challenging life events, life's least common denominators, reframing, and developing a solid plan for the future. Register today, only $50, which includes the Absolutes of Success Series workbook. See you there.
Enrich your life at Sacred Heart Villa, situated atop Mount St. Michael on 40-plus scenic acres. Our caring staff includes missionary sisters and on-site licensed nurses 24/7. We offer medical reminders as well as dispensing medication and transportation to medical appointments. With excellent food, fun events, a spacious hall, safe rooms, and much more, your life will be enriched. Call 610-929-5751 or go to sacredheartvilla-readingpa.org.
It's about changing the world in which we live.
It's about playing, living, and working together.
It's about escaping from special programs.
It's about finding leadership.
And social justice.
The Pennsylvania Developmental Disabilities Council believes that disability is a natural part of the human condition.
We are working to create a commonwealth where all people thrive in shared citizenship.
And everybody wins.
I'm Malachi and I'm 9 years old. Hi, I'm Jay and I am 12 years old. I'm Trayvon and I want a dad that can play ball with me. I'm Jeffrey and I want parents to love me forever.
These are just 4 of hundreds of children in the Delaware Valley who are waiting for families to adopt them. You don't have to be rich to adopt. You don't have to be married or even own your own home. You just have to have room in your heart to adopt a waiting child.
We want a family where we can stay together.
Remember, there are no unwanted children, just unfound families.
I want parents that can love me forever. I want parents who will love me forever. I want parents who love me forever. I want parents that can love me forever.
You can make a difference in the way a child grows up. For more information, call the National Adoption Center, 215-735-9988, or go to the center's website at adopt.org. There's a child out there who's waiting for you.
Welcome back to the show. We're now going to continue our conversation with a licensed marriage and family therapist, Dr. Francis Gall. So welcome, Doc. How are you?
Good.
Good to have you.
Good to be here.
So you have 2 areas of focus, family and marriage, that I can't think of any 2 things that are probably under greater attack today than those 2 situations. So tell us what you do, and before we get started, tell us about your background. I understand you've been a therapist for the last 30 years.
Right. I started my practice at St. Luke's Medical Center and then relocated over to Broad Street in Bethlehem.
Okay.
And I do marriage and family therapy.
Wow.
Almost exclusively, I work with couples and I work with their family members.
Good. And what have you seen over the years for marriages and for families? What are you seeing as some of the challenges to them relating to each other and keeping those institutions intact?
I think that's the key word, relating to each other. And how do they do that? Through what I call intimate emotional communication.
Okay.
You know, there's factual communication and then there's an intimate emotional level.
Okay, tell us the difference between the 2. You said factual communication and then intimate communication.
Factual communication is basically finding out what a person's doing. Factual communication is, your routine day-to-day living.
Sure.
What time you're getting home, what are we having for dinner. And the emotional communication takes on a more of an overtone of what is the individual feeling. So I like to refer to that as intimate emotional communication.
Sure. And one of the things that when you say that, Doc, that pops out is that for a lot of people, they think asking the question of how you're doing today, I mean, not how you're doing, but what are you doing today, how was your drive, they think that's an emotional, an intimate kind of question. And if I'm understanding the distinction, you're saying that there is a distinction between really asking a person how they feel as opposed to their activities.
That's exactly right.
Wow, okay. And do you see others like myself who may not have seen the distinction between the 2? Is that something that you find is a profound point that you point out for people as they begin working, as you begin working with them?
I think I have to clarify with the couple that there's two types of communication.
Sure.
One is a process, which is the emotional.
Okay.
The other one's the content, which is the factual, let's say, or
Okay.
as we perceive it. And so for couples to understand how they're relating to each other, interestingly, it often occurs where one of the partners is a very process person and feels a great deal,
Sure.
and another partner is a very content person and very much concerned with the day-to-day facts of living.
And it isn't always the man or the woman. Sometimes those roles can be different for couples. It isn't always the man does a certain thing and the woman does another thing.
Initially, when I started back in the mid-'70s, it was more dominant. The women came in who were processing.
Sure.
And the men were more factual.
Okay.
And as time progressed, I think there's more of an equality. I don't think it's quite level yet.
Sure.
I think men still dominate more in the area of content.
Sure.
And women dominate more in the area of the emotional self.
Sure. And as you're trying to establish a relationship, what's the pros and cons of either side of that, the emotional versus the content? I'm sure that there are pros to both of those entities, and there are some downfalls to that if that's only where you stay.
I think it's a balancing.
Okay.
I mean, if we're really looking at marriage and family therapy, it's a balancing of the family and it's a balance of the marriage.
Sure.
And so a balancing is that there's a mutual contribution on both levels, and both recognize each person's unique contribution, and hopefully they try and meet each other's needs. So if I'm saying to my partner, I really need to know how you feel about a particular matter in this family, and I'd like you to be able to share that with me. That's kind of a process communication. A content reaction to that question may turn off the person who is looking for more of a process answer.
Sure.
You know, so I think it's a balancing of the two. And if we can achieve that balance, then I think we have a more evolving relationship, a more fulfilling relationship.
Let's just stay with the marriage for a moment. It seems that, a lot of times that, couples get married, they have children, the children get older, and then, they look at each other, 20, 25 years later, and they don't know who the other person is that they've spent this time with because they had so many, the job, the children, other activities in between, and now the pace has slowed down a little bit. They look at each other and they find there's a different person than they originally started out with. What kind of counseling do you give for people who have to rediscover who their partner is, hopefully now that they're not going their separate ways, that they're going to take a pause and reach out and get some help to try to figure out where they go? But what do you say to them as sometimes you sit back and you recognize, we've been so busy, we just haven't gotten to know each other, continue to grow in our knowledge of each other?
Some couples lose each other in that process.
Sure.
That is, the children go off to college or wherever, they leave the home, and now it's the couple left possibly just with themselves. If it was a one-child family, then they're confronting each other. And they could see the shallowness of their relationship.
Wow.
That it's surrounded mostly the child. Now that the child is gone, they're looking for avenues in which to connect. And sometimes that avenue, the truth of it is that they're not connecting, they haven't connected, and they don't want to continue connecting.
Wow.
And so a marriage has a high tendency to run into complications at that time. Call it a developmental crisis that they run into, empty nest syndrome as it's referred to commonly. Other couples come in and recognize that there is a lot in the marriage, and that they want to continue working at it, but they find that the structure has changed. It's no longer 3 entities, it's now 2. Or it could be 5 children and suddenly there's just 2. And the children are all closely aged, and so they're all going off to school. So they run into some financial challenges, they run into time challenges, activity challenges, and often it can result in a dysfunctional relationship where one partner now is seeking out another individual to meet their needs rather than the person that they were living with. Now that the kids are gone and they're out of the house, they may not feel as responsible to maintaining the family unit.
Wow.
Now they can start looking at themselves, and sometimes that perspective of themselves means that they choose to move on.
Explore Dr. Nat Williams' Absolutes of Success book series featuring The Navigator of Life, The Mature 64, Living Life 8x8, Management and Leadership by the 3 Ps, The Affordability Factor, the 4 Cs of Change, Embracing Your Real Life, and the Absolutes of Success series workbook, Maximizing Your Greatest Potential to Achieve Your Personal Best. All books available at drnatwilliams.com or amazon.com.
Ready for some fun? FunWorks assists individuals with and without disabilities to participate in community activities. These activities are provided in small settings for 1 to 8 individuals with at least 1 to 2 direct support professionals. We visit places like Dollywood, Willow Valley Inn, Phillies Games, Iron Pigs Games, the Lehigh Valley Zoo, and more. Let us know your dream trip. Our staff is dedicated to ensuring your dream activities come true. For more information, call 888-966-9466 or visit funworksinc.org.
It's time for a Ken's PDQ Lube and Service Center oil change. Family owned and operated since 1988. Our highly trained staff utilize a 25-point checkup to ensure your vehicle meets and exceeds your car's warranty specifications. We use Mobil and Mobil One products, the official motor oil of NASCAR. Go to the experts, Ken's PDQ Lube and Service Center, Route 611, Tannersville.
Economic development is many different things.
It is turning unused brownfields into economic engines that will help create jobs.
It is creating programs to support entrepreneurs.
It is creating good-paying jobs for our residents.
It is helping businesses grow.
It is creating the workforce of tomorrow.
There is no one-size-fits-all approach to economic development. We need to use multiple approaches if we are to be successful.
The Banana Factory is Lehigh Valley's premier community cultural arts center, promoting and sharing visual arts with everyone. This outreach educational center features a clay studio where students learn the art of ceramics with some of the region's most renowned artists. The Lehigh Valley's only hot glass studio, promoting the art of glass blowing and the glass making process. The Olympus Digital Imaging Center, where students learn the art of digital photography and much more. Come experience the world of art at the Banana Factory. Call 610-332-1300.
What do you say when you find people at that? What kind of inventory do you ask them to go through so that they know clearly what they're doing and it's the right thing for them? How do you help them discover where they're at and really where they want to go?
I think that's a primary focus of my therapy.
Sure.
What I choose to do is I ask couples to come up with 10 words that they feel best describes themselves. Adjectives, hyphenated words,
so
descriptions.
Describe themselves and others, or just describe themselves?
Just themselves.
Okay.
Out of the thousands of words in the English language, I like them to choose 10 that they feel best describes themselves and 10 that they feel best describes their partner. And I give that as a assignment for them to do outside of the session.
Okay.
I ask them not to share that with each other.
Okay.
And I let them know that if I never met with them before and someone slid those 40 words under my office door, I'd have a pretty good idea who's walking into my office when they come in. So when they come into the office for the next appointment, assuming that we agree to follow through with the second appointment, and that's their choice as much as mine, and if we're in agreement with that, they come in and share their words. And in sharing their words, my goal is to assist them to come to the truth of their relationship. It's not me to define the truth of their relationship, but in their words, they'll come up with complimentary words, they'll come up with conflicting words, they'll come up with basically a positive and a negative overview of each other.
Wow. And Doc, wouldn't you say that that kind of exercise could be good, looking at, you know, your job and how you feel about it and what the other party your boss may feel about it? But I could see that that kind of inventorying about your perspective and their perspective would be rather interesting. And I think I can see why a mediator may be helpful to have in that process.
I think once they complete the words, I move on to the second level, which is now, as they examined each word individually and told me about the word, and their partner comments on the word as well, then when that's completed, I take them to the second level. And the second level would be for them to start a statement with, in my life and in my relationship, I think and feel that. And then I ask them to holistically combine their 20 words, each of them separately, and then write a script, a story about their relationship. And then the second session, they come in with that story, or the third session, that story of their relationship. And they're able to integrate all those words from individual words into a holistic story about their relationship. then they share that with each other, and it's quite revealing. And then the third level would be in our life and in our relationship, we both think and feel that. And then I have them jointly get together and to write a script including their 40 words so that they can better balance out who they are, what they want, how they see their partner, and how they can make some changes, noticing the conflicts and the complementarity of what those words are.
And that must be a very interesting journey to take a couple through. And if you had a percentage, Doc, how much would you say come out and they're still together with that exercise, and how many come out and recognize it's time to move on?
Actually, whether it comes out that it's time to enrich the relationship or it's time to move on, personally I prefer that it's time to enrich the relationship. Sure. But there's times that I also accept that it's time to move on.
Wow.
I'd say that couples who come in usually have the desire, the openness, and the effort to work at the relationship. Although some come in just to justify leaving.
Right.
That is, I've done all that I can.
So they want you to give them that little pink slip and.
Yep.
Wow.
Time to move on. You have my blessing. Go. Wow. And some couples choose to do that, but most embrace the exercise. They do it authentically. It's revealing to them. They acquire insights. Actually, they have a couple of hours of relating to each other on a level that they haven't related probably in many, many years.
Wow.
So coming to my office, you know, I've had couples say, I'd like to take that couch home because we seem to relate better on that couch than anywhere else in our life.
Wow.
And I tell them that it's really just a matter of them being willing to continue doing this, which is really where the essence of therapy is, and that is follow through.
Wow. And you mentioned something earlier about people coming in. Do you find a lot of couples come in for one time and you don't see them again? They get started and recognize the work that's there, or sometimes I could also see where the information you're giving is so powerful they may feel, you know what, we just needed to get jump started, and thank you, Dr. Gail, for getting us started. So what do you find there with people returning back, and how do you get them to be encouraged that this is going to be difficult, but it sometimes gets worse before it gets better?
Actually, it's kind of a win-win-win. Whether they stop at that point and they've had an exposure to each other, or they decide that they want to be creative and to continue working and go further, or they decide that, you know, it's not what they want. Sometimes the words could be, he is abusive or she is abusive. He doesn't listen. She doesn't listen. She's domineering, controlling. They share words back and forth that they either come to the truth of the relationship, or they see the truth and say, you know, I don't need more of this. 20 years was long enough. Wow. Kids are out of the house, and I'm out of here.
Wow.
So, but I'd say probably 80% of the couples I see, they go through the whole program, those steps, and they walk out with a better understanding of how their two circles are either blending together, or how they're separate and they go their separate ways, or they join even further and kind of celebrate a newfound relationship.
Wow. Well, thank you, Doc, so much for sharing those insights, but also for the work you've done for over 3 decades, and I'm sure that you'll be around for a long time to come. And again, your office is located in Bethlehem?
I'm on Broad Street,
Wonderful.
West Broad Street in Bethlehem.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Doc.
Thank you for having me here.
We're now going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to close out today's show. So please stay with us.
Travel, meetings, more travel. Work more and travel less with video conferencing. There are now 5 video conferencing rooms serving the Lehigh Valley and Berks available for your next interview, meeting, or conference. Whether you need an executive conference room for 8 or a 3,000 square foot training space for 120, we have your accommodations. And now host and book high-definition video conferences with others from all over the world by going to myvideoconferenceroom.com. Don't go there, be there.
Uniformnia is dedicated to giving you durable, comfortable, and high-quality school uniforms at prices your family can afford. Our online catalog is available 24 hours a day, providing top-notch customer service. We offer an extensive variety of colors and sizes for both boys and girls, from some of the largest uniform manufacturers within the United States. So visit us at www.uniformnia.com. Durable, comfortable, high-quality clothing for America's student.
Joelle, age 13, loves sports. In school, she plays on the field hockey, basketball, and softball teams. She's also a cheerleader. Though her extracurricular activities keep her busy, Joelle still manages to earn great grades and is on the honor roll. She would like to be a lawyer when she grows up and is willing to work hard to achieve her dream. This soft-spoken teen delights in receiving adult attention and praise and is doing well in her foster home. She would thrive in a permanent home that would give her the love, stability, and security she needs to reach her potential. For adoption information, please access the National Adoption Center's website at adopt.org. And for further information specifically on Joelle, please contact A. Kresman at adopt.org.
At Bridge to Creative Learning and Child Care Center, your child will learn and play the creative way in a safe and secure environment. We offer a fun and caring educational-based atmosphere and allow parents to monitor their child's activities. We are a state-licensed childcare center offering academic preparation, after-school programs, creative learning, summer activities, and much more. Call us at 610-351-7400. Prepare your child for a brighter future.
We hope tonight's show has been encouraging, empowering, and enlightening for you. We all deal with many different relationships in our lives, whether it be as a significant other, a sister, a mother, a friend, or coworker. All of these relationships matter in special and different ways. They keep us thriving and healthy, and that's so very important. So thank you for watching. Until our next show, be well.
A list of resources related to today's show is available on our website, which is navigatingyourlifeshow.com. On this site, there is a connection to our Facebook and Twitter pages and to our blog. While you are there, you can also email your comments on today's show or share ideas for future shows.